Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasa Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Nalina Netraya Venovadya Vinodine Radhadara Sudhapana Shaline Vanamaline Mahabhava Swarupasvam Krishna Priya Varivate Prema Bhakti Pradevi Radhika Tvam Namostute. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text number 39. So from 18 to 38, Lord has explained all his manifestations in this material world, vibhutis. So now at the conclusion, in the 39th verse, Lord says, Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tadham arjuna na tad asti vina yatsyam maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or a seed for manifestation is Krishna. Yachapi sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Natad asti vina yatsyam maya bhuta charachara. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the unmovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna, it's called Maya. That which is not. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa isha tadauddeshata prokto vibhuter vistaro maya. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestation. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not not all the opulences are understood in various ways. Therefore, not all opulences and energies can be explained. Simply, a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. Yad yad vibhuti matsattvam Srimad urjitameva va tat tat eva avagachatvam mama tejo ansha sambhavaha. Know that all beautiful, glorious and mighty creating springs from but a spark offers my splendor. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Athva bahunaitena kimarjitena tavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam kritsam ekamshena sthito jagat. But that indeed is there. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself is pervade and support this entire universe. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the Super Soul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as a Super Soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all. It's sustaining them. Worship of demigods is discouraged herein because even the greatest demigod like Brahma and the Shiva only represent part of opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born and no one is greater than him. He is samasta, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Vishnu mantra, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with the demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansions of his partial representation. The Super Soul who enters into everything, that is, a pure devotee therefore concentrates their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in the chapter in verse 8 to 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of a Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose to the 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of opulence of the Absolute. Om Ajnana-Vimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam. Surrender unto me. Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sayitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyade Shatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Saddhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu Varagena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Maham Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhormatamiram Tatra Dara Paraha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here in this chapter, particularly the 10th chapter, where the opulences of the Absolute has explained. And for previous few classes, we have studied that what are these opulences that Lord has explained to Arjuna. If we go back and see the chapter 9, where the Lord has explained about his pure devotional service, especially the end of 9th chapter, Krishna has described the devotional service. And to help generate further devotion in his devotees, Krishna has explained his opulences in this 10th chapter, where in the beginning, from the verse 1 to 7, Krishna describes that his origin is impossible to understand, and for he is the source of all. That which has been created cannot independently understand its own source. One who understands this serves Krishna with a devotion. Name vidu suragana pravam namaharsha madhya devana varshinam sarvajam. If Krishna is my source and I am created by him, so for me it becomes difficult to understand my own creation, my own source. And that's why Lord says that Name vidu suragana. What to speak of living entities? Even demigods, they can't understand me. That Krishna's ununderstanding and unknowability. It's not that each and everyone can understand Krishna. Because of our conditioning, it becomes really difficult to understand Krishna. Then further, Lord explains, who are those really understand Krishna? And what is the process of understanding him? and how Lord reciprocates with them. That he has explained in chapter 10 from text 8 to 11, which is known as a Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Krishna describes the opulences of his position as the source of all. That eagerness of his devotees to love and serve him and his own reciprocation with that eagerness. The essence of Bhagavad Gita has given in these 4 verses. It starts with that. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuta bhava samanvita. All of Krishna's opulences are summarized in text 8. All means all. Whatever they have explained in different scriptures, they have summarized it in this particular verse. And that verse is Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Means he is the source of everything. Whatever is visible, what is invisible, he is the source of everything. One can attain the realization so by knowing all these opulences, these are all of Krishna. One can attain the realization of texts 9, 10 and 11. What are these verses? Bodhayamni Parasparam, Kathandashamam Nitya Pusham Disha, Ravan. And in the next verse, what he says then? Tesham Evanukampan. Tesham Satadayuktam. Acha. Tesham Satadayuktana Bhajatam Priti Gurvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Ninamam Upayam. Then he reciprocates with them with giving them intelligence, through which or by which one can understand Krishna. Knowing Krishna as the source of all, the devotees cannot maintain their lives without him. They thus worship him with the great desire as described in text 9. Then Krishna's reciprocation with such a devotee is described in the text 10. And then further, the devotee's real intelligence, which overcomes the ignorance kicked upon his heart by millions of births, is awarded by the Krishna as described in the text 11. That he enlightens that knowledge in the heart of his devotees. The Lord enters his devotee's heart just as the bee enters a lotus, a bumblebee, Brahmara, as Brahmara enters into the bumblebee. The next verses like 12 to 18, where Arjuna, after 1 hour darshan will open at 8:30. It just closed at 7:50. Arjuna accepts Krishna's position and requests to hear more of his opulences. Okay, he said, Aham Sarvasya Prabho. He said, okay, you are source of everything, but let me know how I can understand that. How you manifest yourself in this material creation. What are those? And first he glorifies him. What's that verse? Extra. Arjuna refers to previous authorities and confirms that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pratyaksha, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam, Vibhum. All the phrases, all the adjectives, Visheshanas that can give it to the Lord, they have given by Arjuna here. And he says that it's not me only because I am your friend and your relative, that's why I'm thinking like that. He said, no. Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Jaiva Bravishime. Not only you, but even all the great sages like the Narada, Vyasa, Asita, Devala, they have also confirmed this. that you are the Supreme Personality of the God. Otherwise, it's difficult to understand who Krishna. Because he himself says, Name vidu surgana pravam namarsham adi devana varshinam sarvasham. What to speak of all living entities? The smaller ones. Even the biggest, like the demigods and Maharshis. Maharshis means who are settled in the knowledge. Even they are not able to understand. That's why he is asking, let me know how the common person can understand you in this material world. What are your material manifestations? Then Krishna, he explains all his opulences from text 19 up to 42. He ends up with the 38 actually, all the opulences, and next 5 verses he explains about how these are just like a spark of splendor. In response to Arjuna's request, Krishna describes the most prominent among his limitless, all-pervading opulences. After naming them 82 opulences, Krishna summarized by explaining that these opulences simply indicate his glory. Madbat tattat vibhuti mat satyam Srimat Purititam. It just glorifies the Lord's potency. Yashchapi sarva bhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna natad asti vinasya vina yatsya maya bhutam charachara. Maya bhutam charachara. He says, bijam tad aham arjuna yachchapi sarva bhutanam. O Arjuna, I am the generating seed for all existence. That means anything and everything, movable, unmovable, charachar, chara and achara, everything comes from me. So, generally people they ask, why devotees are so equilibrium? Why they have that peace in their mind? Why they see everything on the same level? Because they understand this. Yachapi sarvabhutana bijam tad aham arjuna. They understand this thing. That Lord says, I am the seed for each and everything. Either movable or immovable. And after this understanding, devotee always maintains that equilibrium. Because he sees things as they are. Source of everything is Krishna. So that's why he never gets disturbed. Yam labdha chaparam labam. This is what he gets actually. When he gets this knowledge, then he never gurunam api na vichalyate. Even the biggest turbulation may come in his life, he never gets disturbed by that. Then furthermore, Lord says, he pervades and supports the entire universe with a mere fragment of his total potency. In the last verse of this chapter, Lord says that. Athana athava vibhutena kima nyatena tavarajana Vishabhyaham idam krishnam ekam shena sthito jagat. What is the need of understanding all this, Arjuna? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. See, now the question comes, which is generally people they ask, that Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu. And here it is, Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabho. Then where is the Vishnu? Who is he? Because generally, the understanding or misconception of people is that Krishna is one amongst the 10 Leela avatars of Vishnu. They consider Krishna as the incarnation of Vishnu. But if you go through go through all these opulences of Krishna, where Krishna has explained how one of his spark of splendor is something else. Adityanam aham. Among the sons of Aditya, he says, I am Vamana. And who is that Vamana? It's Vishnu. Maybe some other day we will discuss whole thing about the incarnation. I was just reading Satvat Tantra, where Brahmaji has explained all the incarnations of the Lord. It's quite a big list. And there he starts with that. There is a one person in his full potency and full opulences, that is Krishna. Then there is a Swansha and Vivinnansha. Swansha is all these Vishnu Tattvas, and Vivinnansha all the Jiva Tattvas. So in Vishnu Tattvas, all Vishnu Tattvas comes. Like Sankarshana, from Adi Sankarshana, again there is a second Chaturvya. Adi Sankarshana, Narayana, Narayana, from again Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. From that Sankarshana, again three Purushas they come. Mahavishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, Shirodakshay Vishnu. From this Shirodakshay Vishnu, this all Leela Avataras, which we known as the Dashavataras, they come. And among these Dashavataras, there is no Krishna avatar, there is an avatar of Balaram. If you visit some ancient temples in Dakshin Bharat, then you will see most of the Vishnu Vigrahas, they have a Prabhavali behind. They call it the effulgence, radiation. In that Prabhavali, you will find the different avatars they have carved in that Prabhavali. Kurma, who is the next one? Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, then Parshurama, then Balaram, then Ram. There is a Balaram. They are not depicted Krishna there. Because Krishna is not avatar. He is avatari. Generally in English they use this word as incarnation. That's not actually proper word. Because incarnation means who accepts the material body. Krishna never accepts material body. His body and he is not different. And that's the inconceivable. When he was fighting or when he was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what was his age? 125 years. But how he was looks like? He was just looking like a mere 16 to 18 years old boy. How is it possible? As explained in the Brahma Samhita, his beauty is like Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesh Shobha. Hundreds and millions of Kandarpas or Cupids, they get attracted to him. Why? Even though he is Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadi, Ananta Rupam, Adyam, Purana Purusham, but still Navayavana. Means ever youth. That is Navayavana. And as explained in the Satvat Tantra, that his beauty is ever increasing. That's why sometimes when Krishna used to walk in a Dwarika, the floor tiles were so transparent, not transparent, what we can see, they are like a mirrors. So you can see your own reflection if you walk on that. So when Krishna used to see his own reflection, he used to get attracted to that. Then you can imagine what sort of a beauty that is. In this material world, we get attracted by the Ananga Pushpa. As Shankaracharya says, Samsara Vriksha Bija Ananta Ananda Karma Shaka Yudena Karanapatra Ananga Pushpa. Shaka Shatun Ananga Pushpa. This Ananga Pushpa means The beautiful men and women in this world whom we get attracted to. If they are so beautiful, then we can think about their creator, Kandharpa. How beautiful he must be. Among the demigods, it said that he is most beautiful. But such a 100 millions or billions of Kandharpas, they get attracted to Krishna's beauty. One of the name of Krishna is Manamata. Manamata. Kandharpa, Cupid, has a name Manamata. Means Mata. Mata means churns. Who churns the mind, that one is known as a Manamata. Means Cupid. And Krishna's name is Manamata, who churns the mind of Cupid. There's a beautiful deity in Vrindavan which is named after this wonderful quality of Krishna. His name is Madana Mohan. What is meant by that? Who can attract even Cupid? Madana Mohan. So Lord is so attractive. And all his opulences, they are most attractive. As he has explained, everything in this material world which attracts your mind, he said that's nothing but spark of my splendor. Mama tejo ansha sambhala. So what does it mean? And after understanding all this, in the next chapter, which is the 11th chapter, Arjuna wishes to see the all-pervasive form of the Lord. And that form is known as a Vishwarupa, the universal form of the Lord. And I think we will start that tomorrow, this chapter. But it's very essential to understand this particular aspect of the Lord, that He is the source of everything. Unless and until this thing is clear, it's very difficult to understand the pastimes of the Lord. Sometimes people they think, oh, how come Krishna knows everything? Because he is a creator, so he knows what he has created. Even Arjuna had that doubt. You see, even Vivaspate Prokta, when we have done that? Since childhood, I have seen you. We were together. And Vivaswan is born like a millions of years ago, and you are telling me that you have given this knowledge to him. How I can understand that? The person like Arjuna, who was intimate friend of a Krishna and who always stayed with a Krishna, he gets that doubt. Then what to speak of us? That's why Krishna has explained this chapter, that what are his different manifestations, that you can understand. How in this material world also we can realize that this is Krishna. See, the natural taste of water, can you create in any factory? Packaged water and natural water, you can differentiate immediately. Because that thing which quenches your thirst, that is Krishna actually. Rasoham apsu kaunte. You can't create that taste anywhere else. You may drink any packaged water, that will not quench your thirst. It apparently seems that, oh, I have drank water, so, but that never quenches your thirst. If you get that naturally water, which from the source, natural source, that quenches your thirst. Then he says that Prabhashmi Shashi Suryo, whatever illumination that sun and moon they have, from where it comes? Yachaksuresha savita sakala grahana raja samasta suramurti shateja. Yasyadaya brahmati samvrata kala chakra. The whole kala chakra, all the planets, they are fixed in their orbit and they are moving for time immemorial. Who is keeping them there and fixing them and moving there? Just try to understand. I was discussing with someone. He was explaining that just a small thing. It may apparently seem so small, but it's not a small thing. If you have to hold that water in any cup or any vessel, you need to have a particular shape for that. And you can't keep this vessel on a plain paper. That paper need to have a support from the earth. Then only that water can, that pot can able to withstand with that water. Otherwise it will fall down on the earth and everything will be spread out. Then try to understand the mass of water that is there in the ocean. Who is holding that? And this earth is moving around. It's not spilling out. Have you seen that Atlantica water is just spilling out of the orbit? Huh? Have you heard about that? Who is keeping there? Who is controlling that? And what sort of a weight, what we call that balancing weight, has created so that the earth can not get imbalanced. If you try to understand the exposed area of the earth and the percentage of water, how much is the water that is there? 71%. Huh? And what is the earth portion is exposed? 29. Then who is supporting that water? Who is doing that? Technically, if we see, it is inconceivable for us. You try to do it for yourself, take one ball, cut it in such a way that you can put some 71% of water, keep some stones of 29% of that volume, and try to rotate it with the speed that earth is moving around. You will see after some time that whole water has come out. But who is controlling that? Can any human being can do that? He says it's me. The Kala Chakra, Brahmati Kala Chakra. Everything moving around him and that is controlled by him. And how? Maya iyasya jagadanda shatani sute traigunyatat vishaya vira vitayamana. Sattva balambi balasattva vishuddha sattvam. Everything is controlled by his energies. Ichhanurupa, as per his desire. And if one understands this, then it is possible for him to understand the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, he will commit offense, as general mass of people they do. They try to imitate Krishna's pastime. They do this, Dandiya, they do that, what they call, Riyandi. Yeah. It's all nonsense actually. You can't imitate Lord's activities. You just appreciate them, hear them and purify your heart. Don't try to imitate. As one person, he said once, a very great devotee, he was giving this course on Bhagavad. So that person, he asked one of the person from the audience, he said, Maharaj, that Krishna has done Ras Leela. He took form of a human being and he did all that also. Then why we can't do? Then he said, why not? You should also do. But Krishna, when he was born, within a few days, Putana came with a Kalakuta poison with the intention to kill Krishna. So Krishna first drank that poison, he survived, and then he performed the Ras Leela. So if you want to also perform Ras Leela, so drink some little bit poison. If you can digest and survive, then you can do. halahala means which is like poison which has a fumes. There are some cobras, even they spit their poison on your body. People get effect of that poison and they leave their body. It's that dangerous. And all these reptiles, they have got this poison from whom? Whatever spill out from Lord Shiva's hand, that they got it and they become poisonous. And such a poison Krishna has drank also. With that poison he drank the life air of Putana also. So if you want to really imitate, then imitate this also, no? Go and lift Govardhan for the 7 days and 7 nights. You are not able to hold your own pant. You have to put a belt. What to speak of holding the Govardhan in hand there? Huh? Sheer nonsense. So unless and until one understands the supremacy of the Lord and the complexity of his energies, it's difficult to understand his pastime. And that's why Krishna has explained this particular chapter for Arjuna. What are his opulences? And after explaining all that, which you may think, oh, they are so big. He says it is nothing but spark of my splendor, just a spark, minute spark. Then what to speak of his splendor? And now, after hearing that, Arjuna become more inquisitive. Okay, let me show that your universal form. All this manifestation, how they are there in your form. And then in the next chapter, Krishna explains about this universal form. And that we will discuss it tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.